What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching me for a while now, you know that I enjoy Xdefiant more than just because of the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, the gameplay is really fun and extremely addicting, but one of the main reasons why I love Xdefiant so much is because of the developers themselves. It's been a long time since we, the gaming community, has had a development team who actually focuses on their community over money. Now, I shouldn't say, obviously they should completely ignore the money factor because that's just a simple part of business, and when games become as big as they are and they're AAA developed and they have massive publishers behind it, of course, money is going to be a massive factor. But we have gone into a very dark space where communication between the community and devs have just been non-existent, and our feedback means absolutely nothing to the final product. And as we watched Xdefiant build its reputation, time and time again, they have proven to us that they care. They care about their game, they care about their community, and they care about the overall picture. And ladies and gentlemen, to further prove my point, they once again have come out and gave us some more outstanding information, which once again proves that I believe personally, at least for me, Call of Duty is going to have some pretty decent competition when it finally comes out and launches. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep into the topic of today's video, I do want to mention we are indeed on the grind of 50,000 subscribers. So if you did enjoy the video today and you want to hear more commentaries about Xdefiant, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all that good stuff, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button. And last but not least, we will be back over on Twitch today. So if you guys want to catch me live streaming, hang out, catch some good vibes, then by all means tune to the stream. The link to all of my socials are down in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's get right back into the topic of today's video. Like I said, this is no joke. This is extremely serious, and I think it's going to make a lot of you guys happy. Even if you don't enjoy Xdefiant as a game, just seeing a developer say something like this gives me personally hope for the future that maybe developers might start adapting this mindset with future projects. Now, as you can see right here from Mark Rubin, he was responding to a post or a question asked by someone else over on Twitter. Will Xdefiant have a battle royale? Are they aiming to try to bring that experience into the game, whether it's now, in the future, do they have any plans, so on and so forth? And Mark Rubin answered it perfectly. He said, just to be clear, I don't dislike BRs. I just feel that a lesson can be learned from other games that try to do both and end up sacrificing the quality of both. We want to focus on our 6v6 arcade arena experience and not let people feel neglected because we are trying to do too much. Again, I mean, can we cue some claps? Can we cue some people screaming in the background? Can we cue just a bunch of hype right now, ladies and gentlemen? Go down to the comment section, spam the W's. You already know how it is. Mark Rubin does absolutely nothing but preach on a regular day basis. Before I even dive deep, I just gotta say, isn't it amazing to see a developer who actually puts in work and effort with their community, even on the off season? It seems like Call of Duty every single year, they're extra active during the beta because they know during the beta, that's when they're going to get all their pre-order sales. So they go ahead, they hype us up, they talk to us, they quote unquote communicate, not really communication, not really taking any feedback, but they act like they're hearing us out. And then the game launches, it's a bunch of silence. And then after the game launches and we move on to the next title, we don't hear anything else. And usually Infinity Ward will be dead for a couple of years until their next game, or Treyarch will be dead for a couple of years until their next game. Just, radio silence. Mark Rubin, before the closed beta, during the closed beta, after the beta, current date, months later after the beta. I mean, he just nonstop is producing information for us, so we always feel like we are a part of the game. We are a part of the process, even though we don't know how to be game developers, even though we don't know how to code. I mean, I'm not talking for everybody here. Obviously, there's a lot of talented individuals out there. But the mass majority of gamers who just hop on the game for a casual experience, we don't know how to do any of that stuff. But we still appreciate being a part of the experience, being a part of the community. And that's what he does by, being so open with us on a regular day basis. Yes, it brings in a lot of trolls. Yes, it brings in a lot of toxicity. But he is a man of thick skin. He understands what the internet brings. And at the same time, he understands in order to get a happy community, he has to push through all the negativity as well. And he just does it so good. And like I said, I'm just happy to have him around finally. Being a part of this 6v6 arcade arena experiences and all that good stuff is just great to have him around in this scene. Man, but sorry, I got a little off topic there. I just love seeing stuff like this. Back to the main point here. He said it perfectly, you know? Me personally, I don't really care for BRs as much anymore. I really BR'd out back in the PUBG days, but I completely agree with this point. It's not like anybody completely hates BRs. It's not like, you know, we have anything against them at all. But when it is really competing heavily with your core overall experience, at a certain point, you have to sit down and decide. You have to choose which one you should prioritize. And I mean, I know he's not calling out Call of Duty specifically, but my goodness, I mean, to me personally, when I read that message, it seems like he's calling out Call of Duty directly. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to reread it one last time. Just to be clear, I don't dislike BRs. I just feel that a lesson can be learned from other games that try to do both and end up sacrificing the quality of both. It's the exact situation that we run into when it comes to Call of Duty. You know, Modern Warfare 2019, it was sacrificed because they wanted to make it into Warzone. Everything was revolved around Warzone. All the game designs, all the mechanics, everything that was built from the ground up was for Warzone and then ported over into 6v6. Same thing with Cold War, same thing with Vanguard, and then Modern Warfare 2022 comes out and it's competing extra hard to try to bring two brand new experiences. They're trying to innovate and enhance on Warzone while at the same time bringing it in DMZ, while at the same time still trying to hold on to their core 6v6 game. It's too freaking much. We say it time and time and time again to the COD community, or to the COD devs, or to Activision. It doesn't matter who we're saying it to. We always say it on a regular day basis. And it's like they never listen. And honestly, I don't think the community would be pissed if a BR was in the game if the core 6v6 game was good to begin with. If they actually had a good foundation for the core 6v6, they could branch off to whatever. Nobody cares. You know, it's fine. But the problem we run into is that while they're branching off, they're not caring about what the game was or what popped off Call of Duty in the first place. This right here is why I respect Mark Rubin. I respect the team who is working specifically on Xdefiant, and I am beyond thankful to have them around right now. And again, I'm going to be supporting this game like no tomorrow. I might sound like I'm simp for them. I might sound like I'm just, completely fanboying for them. You can say whatever you want, but I have been in the gaming scene for a very long time. I have been loving FPS shooters for a very long time, and I'll tell you what, I have not seen communication like this in ages. And just for the communication alone, I am all for it. But at the end of the day, I believe that this is why I personally enjoy Xdefiant, and a lot of other people are, enjoying Xdefiant as well, and claiming that it can actually potentially compete, not take over, not destroy Call of Duty, not demolish it and make sure it's non-existent, but it could definitely compete in the same category as COD all day, every freaking day. It really can. And it's all because it has an identity. It's a little all over the place with adding in basically, all of Ubisoft's games out there. You have Far Cry, The Division, so on and so forth. There's a lot of stuff packed into one title. It's kind of like, Super Smash Bros. Or something like that. You have multiple different universes basically packed into one game and you have them fighting against each other. That's basically how this is turning out from what I see. But it's not really for the backstory. It's not really for the lore. Maybe it might be some. At the end of the day, it's just for the arcade arena shooter. We haven't had a good traditional arcade arena shooter in such a long time. And Call of Duty has dropped the ball again and again and again. So to see someone actually come out and produce something that is, that actually has the identity of a 6v6 arcade arena shooter, it took a lot of people by surprise. And again, it's gaining a ton of support. It's just fantastic. And I have to say it over and over and over again because people are always going to say, oh, well, it's not going to kill. It's not. It's not going to kill God. Yes, us content creators, we're going to make our titles the way we do. We got to get into the algorithm one way or the other. But at the end of the day, we can all acknowledge the fact that, the only thing that can take down COD is itself. And it's doing a great job at it. So let it keep tugging away. But all Xdefiant is going to be is a place for us to go and enjoy an arcade arena shooter again. That's all it is. A lot of us have stepped over to Battlefield, even though I've played Battlefield for ages now, but a lot of Call of Duty players recently have went over to Battlefield 2042 and have found, a little bit of safety there because the game, in my personal opinion at least, is a lot more playable than Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 might be more polished and might have a crazier budget, But man, the lack of skill-based matchmaking in Battlefield 2042, the casuality of Battlefield 2042, honestly, and just playing with friends, it's a lot more enjoyable than playing with friends on Call of Duty nowadays. So a lot of people have jumped ship over there, but still, for Call of Duty fans, Battlefield is still Battlefield. So, it's still hard for a lot of them to transfer over. Xdefiant, it's COD. It really is like the COD formula with different twists, so it has its own identity. And I love it. And I thank the developers for sticking with this idea, sticking with their passion for making sure they know what this game is going to be. And it's going to bring something great to the table again. It really will. Because it's true. Every game that honestly comes out nowadays has to follow some type of major trend. Either that, or if it is trying to copy COD or, clone another game, it's, a really low budget. And I have nothing wrong with indie developed games or low budget games. What's fun is fun. What you enjoy is what you enjoy. I have nothing against it. But, having something that's a very polished off a AAA product, something that has a lot of people backing it up, it's a lot different of a vibe. Having a game like Call of Duty, I would much rather take that, like an OG COD with a massive budget, that's actually a good COD game, over, another clone that's trying to take its place. And, it's just the simple truth about it. And this game right here is, again, a AAA budget game going to be published by Ubisoft. I'm shocked they're not pushing the direction of BR. I really, truthfully am shocked. But I am stupidly thankful because it's about time someone is stepping in the arena and actually wants to compete. Battlefield, let's be real, they've tried to compete, but what Battlefield needs to learn how to do is stay in their own lane, right? They don't need to compete with COD. They need to basically improve upon their own formula. Yeah, I do see the simulators when it comes to the arcadiness of both games, obviously. But Battlefield, the vibes are much different than Call of Duty, and they need to understand that. Xdefiant's a fresh game. It has a fresh background to it. So they can mold it to be something that can be a Call of Duty competitor with its own identity. And I'm just excited to see what the future holds for it. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, for brand new enjoy the content, subscribe with that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this is where you do so. Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do it over on Twitch. Link this in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.